Most people don't realize how overwhelming doing the right thing with your money can actually feel. Today on Run of Show, I'm talking with Amanda Mallet of Capital Choice, someone who's built her work around helping people understand their options and feel more confident in their decisions. Because the truth is, information is everywhere, but clarity isn't. And that's where most people get stuck. So instead of just talking at people, Amanda has been part of something different, collaborating on workshops that bring real conversations, real education, and real support into one space. And that's what this is really about, creating experiences that actually help people move forward. If you've ever wanted to turn what you know into something that truly impacts others, this one is for you. Let's jump in. So first, I would like to say thank you for sitting down and taking the time to talk with me today. I really appreciate it. I know everybody's busy, serial entrepreneurs and business owners and business entrepreneurs. Yeah, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, I want to start out by getting to know a little bit about your company. So tell me the name of your company first.
Okay, it is Capital Choice.
And what are your biggest wins right now?
Right now, my biggest wins are doing events. We are putting on a lot of events, and we want to help really educate the public on financial wellness. And so, as a former teacher, I love to get up in front of the room and teach people how to do better with their finances.
Right, so you're good with public speaking and all of that. That's something that most of us have to learn.
I have to say I'm really good when they're little. You know, it's still a little... The adults trick me up sometimes.
Right, right. Yeah, you can tell kids what to do. Adults have to be a little more gentle. So you've got a lot of events going on. So that's something new for your company.
Yes.
What are the things that you offer?
So some of the things we offer are financial coaching. That includes debt reduction, budgeting, looking at your whole financial plan, looking at the financial life cycle and seeing where you are, where you want to be, and how can we help you get there.
Right.
We have people on our team who are working with people to work with retirement planning and investing. So we are able as a team to work on all stages of the financial life cycle. Right,
and it's you and a couple of other different businesses that have come together.
Yes, we all are independent associates with Capital Choice. Here in the local Pensacola area, we have about 4 to 5 people on our team, 2 super active, the others come in as needed. It's a part-time opportunity for most people because of the structure of our company. And so it is a nationwide company that we're working with, but we are handling our own business.
Right, at the local level.
At the local level,
right.
Yes.
So that's good. So you've got that national support, but you have that one-on-one personal experience.
Right.
That's really important, especially here in Pensacola. So let's talk about your journey to how you got there. Because now so you're working with all these businesses. You didn't start out that way.
No.
Now, are you from Pensacola?
I am not. I am from Louisiana. My husband and I moved here about 5 years ago, and I was a teacher for 20 years in Louisiana. We moved here. I knew I could get a teaching job, so I went right back into teaching, but knew that wasn't going to be what I did forever. So about 3 years in, I decided to make the move and leave the profession as a classroom teacher. And it started off basically meeting with my financial advisor, who is my teammate now.
Right.
And so he recruited me basically saying, you know how to help people do this.
Right.
You and your husband, Bo, have gotten out of debt. You know the steps, you know what it takes, and you're a teacher.
Right.
Naturally, you can teach others to do this.
Right.
And so I learned through the next 6 months how to do that.
Yeah.
And I had to get licensed.
What year was that? So you say you moved here about 5 years ago, so about 2 years ago. Okay.
So I got life insurance license, so I can bring that into my client's plan, so I can help them with that. I don't have to outsource life insurance. So when we're talking about how they want to protect their family's future in case they aren't there anymore, I can work with them with that. And so basically what I did is I transitioned to this new position, and from there, I just started meeting with clients and doing different events to help just boost awareness of how you can do better financially.
Now, so we're going to talk about events, but I want to talk about the event that you had recently. It was a power couple uploading?
Power couple loading.
Power couple loading.
Back in May,
Right.
yes.
And so it was Kyler who went and talked about health insurance and how to do all that. And then you came on with financial responsibility. And then Ben Hine came on with the retirement planning. So it was
Yes.
part of a three-legged stool, it looks like there.
Yes.
But I wanted you to share your story that you shared there. You talked about the financial planning part because you were saying you were living large.
Yes.
But
We were living large. It looked like we were a power couple.
Right.
You know, from the outside in, we always got the comment, must be nice, or y'all are so rich. And I knew what it looked like. I was doing the family planning lack of family planning book, the finances. And so we attended a marriage conference. That was a turning point for our financial journey. And basically, number one of the biggest reasons for divorce is money issues. And I looked at Bo, my husband, at that point, and I was like, it's not an issue right now, but I could see it becoming an issue one day.
right.
Let's do something about it.
Good. Yeah.
And so we went through, we did the Dave Ramsey program, Financial Peace University. We went through the baby steps, and we just shut down for a year.
yeah.
The yes people became the no people. We said no to vacations. We said no to going out to eat. We said no to everything. We said no to the big house and the big yard. We sold everything, moved into our motorhome for a year and a half, and
Wow.
got rid of all of our debt and pretty much started over.
Yeah.
And so from that point on, we will never owe anyone anything
I love that. Yes.
for consumer debt. You know, of course, we have our mortgage, and we're working to
Right.
pay that off early as part of our new financial plan.
Right.
But the idea that I am not going to make someone else rich anymore.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I'm going to keep my money,
Yeah.
my hard-earned money, and I'm going to make it work for us instead of the other way around.
Well, they say if you're not building your dream, you're helping to build someone else's.
And that is the truth.
Tell me a little bit more about you. Now, you say you're married, your husband, Bo. How long have you been married?
Well, July 1st, we'll be married 20 years.
20 years. And you hadn't killed him yet?
Nope.
You haven't smothered him in his sleep with a pillow?
He's actually my best friend. We do
Yeah.
everything together, and he even works with me at Capital Choice.
Oh, perfect.
He is, he does work a full-time job, so local people are going to see him out with me in the evenings networking and doing some of these events. He will participate or at least show up when he's available.
And are you both, did you meet in Louisiana?
Yes.
Yeah, because he has an accent. He's got
yes.
that. Yeah, it's
He's
a
a
little
Cajun.
subtle at times,
Oh.
but when he's talkative, you can hear that accent.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will come out, especially when he goes back home and
and
gets around
everybody
family and
else.
friends. And then he comes back here and there was like, what are you saying?
right. You're speaking a different language, especially for people like me. I'm hard of hearing, so if you have an accent, forget about it. but I can understand him. I just hear it. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
let me pay attention. And so now you guys work together. That is awesome because you don't see a lot of couples who can do everything together and
Right.
still remain friendly.
Absolutely. No,
But you
I
got
don't
the
know.
number one thing, money, taken care of.
Money is taken care of. Once money is taken care of, everything else pretty much falls into place. There's other parts of marriage that you need to work on, but that money thing is a huge issue.
Right. Yeah. A big anchor for you. So you got that. And one of the things I've heard is mentality, the mindset about money. And I heard they said, don't say I'm in debt. Say I have debt.
Yes.
Because then it's something that you can get rid of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have it, we can get rid of it.
can
If
get
we're
rid
in it, it's a part of us.
Now, real quick, before we jump into the events that we were talking about, give me a couple of tips for financial responsibility.
Number one is have an emergency savings. A lot of people get into debt because something happens they can't afford to pay cash for. Number two, avoid debt at all costs. There are sometimes I know debt can't be avoided. Like, for instance, buying a home. Most people cannot go out and buy a home with cash.
Right.
So that's one of the areas where debt, of course, your home is an asset that's not depreciating like cars and motorcycles and boats and RVs. But pay cash for everything else. Save up for it. Also, understand the difference between needs and wants. You know, our society is definitely out there pushing the wants.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
But masking it as a need.
Right.
You need the bigger car, you have a bigger family. You need the bigger house because your family's growing. Whatever happened to let's get what we can afford,
Right.
and then save up for if we need something bigger later.
Yeah.
Another group of people I love to work with is engaged couples and newlyweds, because they are so tied up with that wedding and all the excitement around that, and then all of a sudden we're married. We need to buy a house. We need a bigger car. We need kids. We need.
Right.
Then all of a sudden they're up to here in debt.
Right.
And now they're having to backpedal and figure that out. And I mean, you think about it, money struggles for a new couple that have just gotten married. How are they going to work through that?
Right.
That's going to be tough because they may not have the communication skills yet.
Right. Right.
So-
Yeah. Especially younger couples.
Yep.
Older couples, they've had a few years under their belt and they know
Yes.
kind of.
But
the young-
also older couples have, some bad
Bad
habits
habits.
already established that,
Right.
When older couples get together, older, they may have those bad habits that they need to work through as
Right.
well. So that's one thing when we're working with a client, we're looking at what they need. There's no set, like, this is how I'm going to coach you and this is what we're going to do.
Right.
Yeah, we have a kind of an idea of how to get out of debt, but it's going to look different for each client.
Right.
Based on their experiences, their needs, and their plans.
Yeah. And so now you're ready to teach all of this to the world, but you're not doing it like Tony Robbins style on
No.
a big stage. You're doing some more intimate
Yes.
gatherings. Now, have you always been an event type person?
Not really.
No?
I look back to, I love to throw parties and
Right.
things like that. And but I also know that in the past, I would go overboard when throwing parties. You got to buy all the napkins and plates to match and this and that. And now I'm like, oh, we're throwing an event. What do we have? Let's start there.
Right. Yeah. Let's
And
roll out the paper towels.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to buy fancy napkins. And so looking at ways to make things more cost effective now, that I'm working in the financial industry, it's like, it's eye-opening.
Right. Yeah. It's a whole different animal when you're like, you want to do all the things. But Martha Stewart, praises to her. She can tell you how to do it easy, simple, on a
Yes.
budget. So yeah. So you've got some events coming up. What's first? Let's talk about what's inspired you to do these events.
Well, for one thing, it allows us to get people in the room that may not be comfortable meeting one-on-one yet. Sometimes there's, a little comfort in numbers, and getting them to understand what we do. A lot of times when people hear financial coach or, anything like that, they're like, I don't know what are you really going to do with me?
Right.
And then they're like, oh, you're just going to tell me stop spending money.
Right.
You're going to tell me I have to stop going to this place or that place or stop getting my coffee every morning.
Right.
And honestly, that's not how I work things around that.
Real quick, if you're doing anything with video, podcasts, interviews, social content, you already know how much time editing can take. One of the tools that I use to make things easier is Opus Clip. It takes long-form content and turns it into short-form clips that are ready to post, with captions, formatting, everything done for you. It's been a game changer for staying consistent without getting stuck in editing. I've dropped a link for Opus Clip in the description as well, if you want to check it out.
My thing is, if you have to have that coffee every morning, well, we're going to look at your budget and figure out where can we fit that in?
Right.
And what are we going to look at? What other categories do we need to say where you can, pull back on?
Right.
And that way you can keep doing the things that you think you need every day.
Right. Just reallocating the pieces of the
Yes.
pie. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
So now, what are the events that you have coming up?
In August 1st, Ben and Kyler and I are going to be working again together, putting on another event. It's going to be a potluck for prosperity. So we're doing over at Navy Federal Pavilion over at the Rec Center, that new beautiful area that they've created. Oh gosh, we are going to set up there from 11 to 1.
Okay.
And we're inviting anyone from the community to bring a dish. It can be just a main dish or dessert. It's going to be a potluck style event. We're going to have a little bit of information to share with everyone and some practical tips and strategies to help our community build strong financial futures. You'll get a chance, the guests will get a chance to taste the food, to mingle with each other, meet new people, possibly do some networking if people own businesses or need services. And then we're also going to let them vote for their favorite categories in main and dessert. And so each category will win a little gift card if they are chosen as the people's favorite.
What's your famous dish for? What are you famous for? What's your dish?
I'm gonna throw Bo under the bus. Because I think I'm gonna tell him he has to make his jambalaya.
Jambalaya from Bo. Yeah, I bet you he'll win.
I'm gonna have him do a little jambalaya to bring to the potluck picnic.
I love it.
So we're just asking the community, bring a dish. That's your admission to the event. You don't have to, there's no charge except to bring the dish. They could bring a friend with them. Families welcome, bring the kids to go out and play. We'll probably have maybe some cornhole set up and some other things going on just to have a great little day out there together.
I like that idea. It's low pressure, so you're not trying to sell to anybody. You're trying to help them get in some information. Because
there's
you don't
no
know
sales that day.
And I love that you get like you said, there's power in numbers because that you don't know what you don't know. So people can ask questions that you don't, wouldn't even think to ask. But you're like, you know what, I need to know that too.
It was funny because when we worked together on the event in May, the power couple loading, so many people who attended were saying those things. I didn't know that. And they would have never known that if they weren't in the room.
Exactly.
And even if they were just there for the event and that's the last time we saw them, they left with some nuggets of information that they could apply to their lives immediately. With or without us. And so that's our point right there. We want to help others.
Love it. Now, what have been some of your challenges with planning these events?
I think back to the first event we did in Pensacola. We had some other Capital Choice associates from out of town who've been with the company for a very long time come in and help us out with it. And it was just our local team putting it on. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. But the marketing part wasn't there. And we had very few attendees. We had a couple people there. We were able to run through and see what worked, what didn't work. So it was a good trial run. But for each event, I'm learning what's best practice for that type of event, a seminar, or if we're doing like this, picnic where we're asking people to bring things in, but we're organizing it to help them get some information as well and have that balance. And so that's what I'd say is just the marketing of it and understanding what the community wants.
That's a big thing. Is that you're a financial person, not a party planner. But we often have that happen with a lot of, especially around here with the more smaller businesses or the owner-operated businesses. You're having to wear all the hats. So that can be a challenge. Now, what would be some of your tips to people who are planning events, who again are not event planners, but they're business owners trying to do something?
Understand your audience. Make sure you know what they want. You already know what they need because that's your business. If you're inviting people, say for example, if I invite someone to our event, I know that they're needing either to understand what we do so that they can help others in their community by getting them to us, or they need our services as well. So I know what they need, but what do they want? Do they want to sit in a seat for an hour and listen to a lecture? Probably not.
Especially on finances. I mean, you need it,
but that's the balance that you need to understand. A lot of people, they know their industry, they know their business, but how to get it across to others so that people will listen and be interested in it. So I guess it does come back to the marketing aspect of it.
What is your biggest tip on marketing?
Biggest tip on marketing for me would be share it. Get it to your community, your network, and get people to share it. Because I don't know everyone.
Right.
But if I ask you to share my event,
Yes.
you have a whole different network that's not connected to me.
Right.
And so that can get the word
Yeah.
out to get people in
Share,
the seats.
share, and network and get to know people.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and that's the thing too, and that's how I know you is through all the
Yes.
networking. Which and I don't like calling it networking.
I know.
I
Relationship
it's
building.
It's building relationships
Yes.
because and then because we're not only networking, like we were at Bands on the Beach here recently.
Yes, yes.
I mean, like Pensacola is a really tight knit community. It really is, and the business community it's built on friendships. It really is, and.
I agree with that, and so that whole relationship building is important because, we can get people to share our events, but it doesn't really mean anything if there's not something behind that.
Right.
For instance, you could share it, but if you share it and then you say, "Hey, my friend Amanda,"
Right.
it comes off as different rather than, "Hey, this girl I network with is
Right.
have an
She's
event,
doing a
you should
thing.
come."
Yeah.
But no, you've shown up at our events. Like you said, we've hung out outside of the business arena, Bands on the Beach. We were working a lot together, getting to know one another, building that relationship. So we can help each other out in those ways when we're sharing,
Right.
not just posting and sharing on social media, but word of mouth, which
Right.
is the
Word of
greatest
mouth, yeah.
advertisement ever.
Yeah.
Through your warm markets, yeah.
Because that's the thing too is showing up again and again and again because know, like, and trust.
Yep.
First they got to get to know you,
Right.
and then they got to get to like you, and then they'll trust you.
Yes.
So, but then especially with these business events, you go to one and you meet 100 people.
Exactly.
So I need to see you, especially I'm terrible with names. Like I will remember your face, but who are you? I guess that's a good thing for the women in the South is we can go honey, baby, sweetheart. We don't need to know your name.
Yep.
But you got to know them, and then once you get to know them, then you start to learn about their business. And then of course, if it's not something that you're really top of mind, but you're hearing it again and again and again, and then when you need to know it, then you're like, I'm not searching for a financial person. I know a financial person.
Exactly.
So when I have questions, I know someone to go to because I already know them, I already like them, and from what I've heard, they know what they're talking about. So I'm going to go talk to that person for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Another event that where it's currently in a planning stage, but coming together, is called She Leads: Confidence, Connection, and Creating Your Next Chapter.
Okay.
One thing I like to do is network with women in business. And so Carrie LaRose and I have done a lot together lately, and we came up with the idea. Yeah. She is a women's self-leadership coach, and it's so cool to hear her talk and,
And she's also, she's Cajun, French, something? Yes.
She's from Louisiana.
She's from Louisiana, yes, because she's got that accent too.
And it's so funny because we didn't know each other in Louisiana.
Right.
And we met through networking here, and the Louisiana roots run deep. So, we're good friends now.
Yeah.
We just got back from a conference in Charlotte
Right,
this past
yeah, I
week.
saw that.
So we had some time together to really get to know one another, on a deeper connection here. And so, we're like, well, we should work together.
Yeah.
We want to help women. She wants to help women to be able to lead themselves. And I want the women to help, lead their financial future with their spouses or partners. And so on August 22nd, we're planning an event at Everman's 9 Mile.
Okay.
Probably from 10 to 11, just an hour.
Right.
It'll have a little bit of a networking component to it. And then a little bit of information to help women in our community, not only business owners, but if they're the entrepreneur of their family, running their family business of the family household, to come in and find out how they could lead themselves in all aspects of their lives.
Right. See, I love how you're combining your teacher skills with your financial skills and now your networking skills.
Yes.
Is this something that you're going to be doing a lot more of, more event type stuff?
I would love to, because that is something that I enjoy.
Okay, good.
I love putting the event together. And then the delivery of it, because at some point I'm going to be up there being the teacher,
right?
And it's always fun to kind of step back into that role,
right?
And then if I can move those attendees to clients, then I get into a super teacher role where I get to work with them one-on-one and see their progress, which was always fun as a teacher, to see that light bulb go off and the advancements made.
So did you like get tired of teaching and then move into finance, or were you looking for something else to do?
Well, I was a teacher for 23 years.
Right, that's a long time. So you're like, I need to do something different.
I was just at the point where I was looking for a change, and it was just time.
Right.
You know, there were things in the educational system is constantly changing, and there were some things I was just not happy with.
Right, wasn't the same as it was when you first started. Yeah.
But you know, I do miss being in the classroom with the kids. I do miss that.
Oh, yeah. What age did you teach?
Well, here
Grade
I
level?
taught, in Santa Rosa, I taught 5th grade.
Okay.
And in Louisiana, I taught 7th grade and 4th grade.
Okay, all right. So those are good. They're really like sponges at that age.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And what do you find is different between teaching kids and adults?
Well, number one, I'm not responsible for what you do or don't do as an adult. When you're teaching as a classroom teacher, the responsibility falls all on the teacher.
Right.
You know, if they don't learn or if they don't do, it's all back on the teacher. Teaching adults, you know, you have to be responsible. It's on you at this point. You know, I can guide you, I can teach you, but you have to take that information and run with it.
Right.
And if you don't, you just have to suffer those consequences.
Right.
I'm not coming behind you and
Right,
treating
giving
you
you a
like
grade.
a 5th grader,
Right.
saying, come on, you have to do your work. You have to
Right.
show proficiency here before we move on.
Right.
One thing that, and you know, I kind of thought about this today actually, anything that you want to do well and succeed in, you have to be all in.
Right. Oh.
And so whether it's your health, you know, losing weight, or having a successful business, you've got to be all in. And so my clients, if they want to be successful with their finances and achieve that financial freedom and independence so that they can have the choices in their lives without somebody else, you know, hanging something over their head like, pay this bill or I'm coming to repo your car.
Right. Oh. That's not a good feeling.
Not at all. And so you have to be all in. And
Right.
so a lot of people who attend our events, they're not all in yet. They're just
Okay.
kind of dipping their toe in.
Right.
What is this? What is this about?
Right.
Because it's going to take change. You're going to have to change your way of thinking, your mindset about finances. You're going to have to change your habits. Because a lot of your habits are making other people rich instead of making you wealthy.
Right.
And you're going to have to change, you know, your trajectory of life. You know, some things that you had planned may need to be put on hold, or maybe just put away forever.
Right, yeah, like that's not in the cards. So
Yeah,
you've really got to think. I think that's what a lot of people, they're not really thinking about things. They're just moving their way through life on
Yes.
autopilot. Right.
I see a lot of people doing that, and you know, years go by. The years are going to pass regardless what you do.
Right.
And when you look back 1 year, 2, 5, 10 years from now, and you say, at that point, I could have made a choice.
Right.
You know, I have that kind of moment. There's a couple moments in my life that I'll think back to, like, oh my gosh, if I'd have done something differently.
Tell me one of those moments.
Okay, I'll kind of go with one that was so relative to what we do and what
Okay.
we've done. Back when we were living in Louisiana, gosh, this was like around 2007, I would suppose. We had been married for about 5 years, 5 or 6 years or so. And we were living in a house, and this was our second house that we had bought. We were probably on our third car. We had all the toys and we're doing all the fun things. Like I said, we were the yes people.
Right.
We did it all. And so I remember a neighbor coming home, and we would always hang out, and we lived in a cul-de-sac, so we'd hang out in the front yard, in the driveways. And they came home and they said, yeah, we just went to this meeting, and it was talking about, you know, how to pay your house off early. If you just pay, you know, one extra, you know, payment a month, a year, it'll be this many
Right.
years off, whatever. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I know she said Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just, oh, okay, didn't listen to it.
Right.
Had I looked further into it and started going through that mindset change, back then, things would look a lot different today.
Right. Right.
We wouldn't have made that big change when we were, you know, I'm going to say it, in our 40s. I mean, you know, yeah, we were able to make those changes, but we had to do drastic things.
Right.
And had we started our married life off differently,
Right.
and not had that pattern of debt. Because that was another thing, long time ago, I was wanting to buy a car. I was maybe 16 years old, had a job, could have saved up money for it, but instead Dad took me to go get a loan at the bank.
Right.
And that was what we did. You wanted something, you went and got money, loan, finance officer, whatever. You went to the bank. And so even as we grew into our marriage and we were I was a teacher, my husband worked offshore, we were making good money. But even if we had the money to pay for something, we would finance it.
Right, because that
was just how you did it. That was just the way to do things. So I thought. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, all of that money we spent on interest.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, see, that's the thing. People, if they think, well, I can make those payments.
Yeah.
But like you said, want versus need. If, you don't need it, or maybe you do need it, but you can wait. If you could, instead of making those payments, how about save that much?
Yep.
And then pay for it outright. And then you've saved however much money in interest.
And then the idea of, I don't know if you've ever heard of the rule of 72.
No.
Tells you how quickly your money can double at certain interest rates.
Right.
All right, so think about around almost 10% interest. If you can get 10% interest, you can double your money, within about 7 years, or a little over 7 years. Okay, so think about credit cards. They're not 10% interest. I don't know who can get a 10% interest credit card right now. But if they're using that rule against us, making that money, they are making so much more money than we could be making ourselves. And we're just giving our money to them.
Yeah.
Get rich.
Yeah. My dad tells the story about, he says, okay, let's say you have a job and you're making X amount of money. And can you save? No, I can't save because I have all that. And then let's say you lose your job. Well, can you save now? No, I don't have a job. And let's say you go 6 months and you make it somehow without borrowing or anything, but you make it. 6 months comes along, you get a new job. Can you save some money? No, I can't save. So then you get a raise. Now you're making more money. Can you save money now? No, I can't save money. There's so many excuses we have about why we can't do things. It's change your mindset.
It's changing your mindset and looking at things like, for instance, if you if you get an inheritance or money from a family member where you didn't expect that coming in.
Like a windfall.
Yeah, or you win a prize. A lot of people take that money and I got to go spend it. I want to go get something bigger, better.
Right.
Invest it.
Right.
You didn't have that money in your monthly budget to begin with. Move that to savings. Move it into a something that's going to make you money.
Right.
Not just a regular savings account either, because those aren't making any money.
No, not at all.
The interest rates are
not even pennies.
No. So it's definitely a mindset shift. And one other thing that I definitely attribute to how we handle our finances now is more of a minimalistic approach to things. Have we started accumulating things over the years? Yes. But now the question is, can we afford the monthly note? Can we buy it outright?
Right.
And if the answer is no, we cannot pay for it cash, then okay, we save until we can.
Right. Then you start asking, do I need it or want it? And
that's what a lot of people look at, the monthly note, and think, I can afford it because, okay, this car, I can buy it. It's going to be $500 a month.
Right.
I got $500 a month, but are you accounting for maintenance on that car, gas for that car?
Right.
Are you accounting for anything that could happen to that car, the insurance?
Right.
And so same with houses. A lot of people go off and want to buy a house. They jump into this house that they have to have, their dream home, and then all of a sudden they can't stay in it.
Right.
Because they can't afford it anymore.
Right.
And the housing market, right now, to try to sell a house,
right, yeah.
you can't get out of it, and so you're putting your family in a bad situation.
So that's what you do as a financial coach, is you help people think about those other things.
And as long as they come talk to me before the decision's made,
right?
I can't help them after they make a decision. And a lot of people do that. You know, some of my
Right.
clients, they'll come to me,
Help
well,
me dig out of this
I
hole."
did this. Can you help me? Yeah, well, we can look at it again and reassess and revamp your plan.
Right.
But your debt-free date has changed now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we said it was going to be 3 years. Now it's going to be 10 years.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you decided to go buy a car.
Maybe they'll learn from that.
A brand, and did you need the car? No, I didn't really need it,
Yeah.
but I really like it. Well, I hope you like it and
Yeah.
are gonna.
Well, you would love my granddaughter. She's 8, right? And for example, we were at the Dollar Tree of all things, right? You think I can buy stuff at the Dollar Tree? It's $1. Well, it used to be $1, right? But we're there, and we were looking at these headphones, and she at 8 years old was like, "Do you need them or do you want them?" I'm like,
She was asking herself.
she was asking me that because I was looking at the headphones. I was like, "Oh, these are just $7, and I need some new headphones." And then when I said need, that's when she's like, "Do you need them or want them?" I'm like, "Excuse me." And then I found myself explaining to her, rationalizing why I needed them. You know, and then but it's funny because I didn't buy them. Because she talked me out of it. She came up with alternatives. She was like, "We know, Grandpa had some extra ones that he wasn't using. Maybe you could borrow one from him." And I'm like, "Put it back."
And it's funny because in your mind you're like, it's just a $7
Exactly.
headphone. Like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But all of those things add up.
You're nickel and diming yourself.
It just every day thinking about how you spend your money. And that's the one thing I do with my clients at first is track every dollar you spend and every dollar you make. We're going to track it for at least 3 months.
Right.
We're going to see where you're spending money and you're not realizing it.
Right, exactly.
And I'm going to work through that with you because if you're on your own,
right,
you tend to forget about things
you
or
forget
just
about things. Or not
explain
know.
it out. Like, I didn't realize that every time I stopped at the gas station to get gas, I went in to use the bathroom and bought a pack of gum.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, every time that's a couple dollars.
Right.
Every time. It adds up by the end of the month. Or one of my family members, every time they stop at the store, he's got to get a Coke, a fountain Coke.
Right.
It's only $1.
Right.
Okay, if you do that every day, that's $30 a month.
Yeah. You don't think about it's only $1. It's $30 if you do it every day.
So let's say, won't we put that $30 into an investment vehicle and see what it does in 10 years?
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of my tips, I ask myself 4 questions. 1, do I have the budget for it? 2, because a lot of it's food. How does it affect the environment? The packaging and this, that, and the other, right? And then knowing how it affects my budget and knowing how it affects the environment, how does it affect my karma? Like I go through this list of questions before I buy something do you need it? Do you want it? As a serial entrepreneur, I'm always on a shoestring budget, so I have to really ask myself those questions.
But I think if more people paused and went through that questioning of things, you're not going to make those impulse buys.
Right.
Right now with online shopping, it is so easy to pick up your phone and have something at your door the next day, sometimes same day.
Right, yeah.
And so, I know a lot of people who, think about the grocery shopping online. They say, well, I save so much money because I'm not walking to the store.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, that could be if you're only doing it once a week. But every time you think of something you need, you're picking up and going on that app and adding something and saying, deliver it now. But while you're looking, I think I need that too.
Right.
I think I need that too. So you're almost doing the same thing you would do as if you were in a store. You've got to run those items through that checklist.
Right.
Do I need it? Do I really need it? Or is there something else I can use for now?
Right.
So just some ideas to make sure that your mindset is on the right things.
On the right end goal, right, yeah.
Because and you mentioned end goal there, and that's important. It's your why.
Right, there you go.
You talked about being an entrepreneur, and so you're always running through that list. But your why is big. You want to run your business. You want to be successful. And if you spend all this money on these little things, it's preventing you from building your business. Whether it's home ownership or getting out of debt, the trip or retirement. A lot of people don't even think about retirement.
Retirement. You think it's forever away. It is not.
It is not.
Yesterday I was 17. Today I'm 51. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
Right? Well, and the thing is, and I always thought of retirement as an age.
Right.
65 is retirement,
Right,
yes.
yeah.
Not anymore. Like, I know now, retirement is not about age, it's about money.
Right.
You got to make sure you have enough money
Right.
to live the life you want in retirement for that many years.
Right.
If not, you're working.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
So you're-
saying. We need to sit down and talk because I'm going to be working until they wheel me off to the funeral home.
Well, I don't doubt that you will, but I don't think you'll be working out of necessity. I think you'll just be working because you love to do what you do.
I do love.
And that's okay. You see people who are retired all the time who they own businesses and they're still working
Right.
in their business just
Right.
because they love it, because
want
they
to.
chose it.
Right.
But
Yeah,
if you're having to
absolutely.
work at something, if you're doing, some corporate job or
That you
retail
hate.
job that you hate, and you're having to do that till you're 70, 80,
Yeah. Oh gosh.
80, and you're having to do that till you're 70, 80,
Yeah. Oh gosh.
85 years
Yeah,
old.
We got to change that. Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's not because you want to and enjoy it.
Right,
It's
'cause
not a
you didn't plan.
necessity. A lot of people think I'll get Social Security.
It's not enough.
It's not enough. It's not enough, and especially now. I mean, if anybody has seen in the last 10 to 15 years how much the price of living has gone up, it's going to
Right.
keep going up.
You got to plan for that. Oh
Yep.
goodness.
And so inflation, retirement, there's a lot involved, and you need somebody on your side to help you.
Right. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can chat GPT it, but no. You need someone who knows what's going
Yeah.
on and knows the changes and is in it.
Yeah.
Doing it.
And all those AI apps will tell you what you want.
Right,
So, if
right.
you talk about it long enough that you want that new house
They're
and
like,
it has
"Oh,
to
yeah,
be this,
let's make it happen.
they will make it happen.
I know mine's very encouraging. It's always, that's a great idea.
Right. Oh, no, it wasn't. No. I should have downsized
Yeah.
instead of upsized.
Well, I'll give you one more of my tips.
Yeah.
You talk about coffee,
Yeah.
right? That can really add up. I have one friend that she's going 2-3 times a day.
Oh,
I'm
my
like,
goodness.
Girl, and you're not even thinking about it. So what I've done is I've decided not to say, I can't have Starbucks because that's too, you're going to
yeah.
break. You're going to break. So I've decided I can only have Starbucks on Saturday.
Okay.
And that's my reward for making it through the end of the week, and I'm usually pretty busy on Saturday running around. So I'm like, okay, it's my treat. I can have Starbucks on Saturday and I'm not going to feel guilty about it
Yeah.
because I wasn't having it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So
Yep.
that's my tip. It's like, don't ground yourself, but you're on a restriction,
Yeah.
a budget.
I mean, that's exactly what it comes down to, your budget. Because even if you get to the end of the week and you're like, well, this is my reward. If you don't have the money for it, are you going to put it on a credit card? It's like,
Right.
come on now. Like, you got to ask yourself,
Right.
like, is it in my budget? Now, if that's your plan, you're planning for
You're
that ahead of time.
budgeting it. Yes, you're budgeting
And so
for
you don't
it.
get at the end of the week and wonder, how am I going to pay for my coffee
Right.
that I deserve or I earned? And because that's what people do. I deserve it. I earned it.
Right.
So I'm going to get it by any means. The next thing you know, they're swiping a credit card for a coffee.
Yeah.
Like, you're paying 20-something interest on a $10 coffee. Come on now.
Yeah, on a $10 coffee. So you're compounding
So
gosh.
There's so much to it with the mindset, and if you're planning ahead and you have your plan and you're sticking to your budget, and honestly, it's not that difficult.
Right.
You've got to just be all in.
Yeah.
Like I said before, you've got to say, I'm going to do this. Because if you go in and out, it's not going to work.
Right,
Because it's
yeah.
going to just prolong how long it's going to be before you're out of debt. And it's just a lot easier to swipe that card.
Yeah, too
you know?
easy.
It is so easy. And so you will fall back into those same patterns if you're not careful.
Right, absolutely. Now tell me, if someone wanted to work with you or find out more about these events, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
I would tell them to go to www.visitamanda.com and schedule an appointment with me.
Visit Amanda. I like that.
Visitamanda.com.
All right.
That goes to my scheduling app.
Okay.
And it's just automatically scheduled for an hour, but it doesn't have to be a whole hour. It can be virtual.
Okay.
For location, you just write virtual. If you want a phone call, just put phone call.
Okay.
If you want to meet me somewhere for a coffee,
Right.
you tell me where you want to meet
Okay.
locally, the Pensacola area.
Yeah.
Or
no, you don't want to pick a red eye to California for coffee?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, I'd
Locally.
love to,
Right.
but or I can come to your house.
Right, okay.
Because the type of work that we're doing is more intimate. And a lot, we're going to be talking about your finances, your goals, and some people aren't comfortable sitting in a coffee shop with an earshot of others.
Right. Right.
So I'm more than happy to come sit in your home and have that conversation with you.
Fantastic. I love it. Now, what words of wisdom would you like to leave our listeners with?
Seek help.
Yes.
Okay, get somebody who knows and understands financial freedom, financial independence. Not somebody who's just quick to take your money and go try to invest it.
Right.
Somebody who's going to work with you, a professional who will sit with you and dig deep, figure out your goals, your plans, your dreams, understand your family dynamics, understand your history with finances.
Right.
It all comes together.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda, for sitting down and talking with me today.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate it.
What